morning. We are here at JJ's Cucina down on Lake Underhill, and I'm here with Tamara Monlouis. She is from Moneyvan Digital Marketing Solutions for Testimonial Tuesday. So welcome, Tamara. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. Super excited to be here. Super excited for you to interview me, actually. So let's get this party started.
I love that. Well, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, Certified Best Roofing. What sets Certified Best Roofing apart is their commitment to the community. They treat every project as if it were their own home or business, ensuring safety, durability, and care at every step. That's why so many Central Florida families trust them year after year. So, Tamara, I am very excited to be able to interview you today, and I want you to share the story behind Moneyvan Digital Marketing Solutions. How did it all begin?
So how did it all begin? So I'm from Trinidad originally. I moved to the US when I was probably about 19 years old. Went to college here, and I did the job thing. I had some great jobs. I worked for groups like Rockefeller Group Telecommunication Services. I worked for brands like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. Probably one of the best jobs I've ever had, really doing my part to change the world. I've worked for brands like Hilton worldwide. So these companies, Hilton and St. Jude, moved me from place to place. So St. Jude moved me from New York to Memphis, and then Hilton moved me from Memphis to Orlando. So it was an opportunity to really kind of, live that American dream, right? Especially when you come from another country. But then I start realizing, I'm like, really, I'm good at getting these jobs. They move me around. And then it was an opportunity for me to think, well, hey, I'm always talking to a CEO, a CFO, someone in leadership. So could I do this for myself? So I really wanted to bet on myself because I saw my leadership potential. And then also sometimes, in these corporate spaces, you're also, pulling back on who you are quite a bit. And I wanted to really just live out loud to my full potential, right?
I love that. And having got to know you a little bit better, I know that things you make things connect, that those dots always connect. So what does the name Moneyvan represent, and how does it reflect your brand's mission or values?
Absolutely. So Moneyvan is really a combination of my last name, Monlouis, and my dad's first name, Ivan. So I connected the two because it's really about my legacy and his legacy and the things that he's created and everything that he's taught me, right? To really kind of rise to the occasion, to think things through. So everything that I've learned from him, to really be passionate, to be aggressive in my pursuits, everything that I've learned from him, those are the things that I'm moving forward here at Moneyvan Digital. So it's creating legacy and connecting back to a legacy. And my dad passed probably maybe about 10 years ago. So this is something that, is a tribute to him and to my family, my mom, my siblings. So this is how I'm kind of just doing my part to move that legacy forward.
I love that. I love the fact that you brought him here with you today. That's really, really cool. So what inspired you to enter the digital marketing world, and what keeps you passionate about it today?
Yeah, so I actually have a degree in economics. I went to Rutgers University, and while I was in Rutgers, I remember, and this may tell my age a little bit, but I still tell people I'm 25. So I remember when I got my first Facebook page, and I was just like, wow, this is interesting. This is something new. This is something innovative. And while I was going to school, I was just like, hey, there's something else that's happening there. So after college, I moved to New York, and then I worked for a little bit, but then I went back to school and did a program in internet marketing at the time. I did another program in multimedia design, and just kind of started to wrap my brain around what was happening in the internet space, right? I was working with some of the pioneers of, digital learning, analytics, learning, design, and connecting the dots, building websites. So really taking a look at this new industry that was happening and really kind of getting in on the ground floor and starting to connect the dots. And that's what led me to the job at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, right? Really going there and really leaning into digital and leading their end of the year giving program and helping them to raise more revenue, more money. So that's what really got me started in the internet space. It was just something I was just like, here's the cutting edge. And again, something that I learned from my dad, right? How do you look at where things are going and how do you get on board ahead of time so that you're really in a space where when it grows, you're a part of that.
No, I love that. And I think having come out of the COVID era, right? Digital marketing is so super important.
Yeah.
And we learned how to live and thrive online.
Absolutely. During COVID, I mean, I was like super popular. My phone rang all of the time. Right? Everyone was just like, we need to be digital. And I'm like, let's go.
No, but I think it's just really important. And many days people will be talking to me and they're talking about the digital space and they don't understand it. And Tamra, for some reason, is in my head because what she does is brilliant, and I see her work in action every day. So I want to thank you for that, and
appreciate that.
I'm excited to learn more. So can you walk us through the core services Moneyvan offers and what makes them effective for your clients?
Sure, absolutely. So we do those core services: the search engine optimization, SEO. How do people find you on Google? We look at social media. We don't necessarily post for you, but we help you develop a social media strategy that makes sense for your business. We look at content marketing. Right? How do you create relevant content that matters to your customer base? We really help people walk through that customer journey. We also help them connect the dots from their business goals back to what they're trying to do online. So we really look at all those core services, SEO, social media, all the elements, but we put a different spin on it and we connect it back to business, what they're trying to accomplish with their business goals and how do they move that forward.
And I think part of that, so, you know, Tamra and I have been very fortunate to support and work with one of our chamber members recently, and I think what you've just said kind of encapsulates getting to understand a business from the inside out, so you can truly reflect who they are in a digital space and share their story. So Tamra, share a little bit about what we've been doing recently.
Yeah, so we have been working with WeFit. They are trustees at the Chamber. We're Evolving Fitness, and we've actually been working out with them doing a 12-week transformation. Katrina has lost about 9 pounds, so that has been awesome. So shout out to Monique and Troy, and we've been really just kind of taking in and consuming their business, and understanding that is really helping to pull together their strategies better, right? Their core services. You know, so taking that information, being a part of that has helped me to just do better for them from a digital standpoint. How do they effectively get in front of their customer base online, the customers that are coming to their gym? How do we connect all the dots? So it's really about understanding the customer, understanding the industry, spending time consuming that information, because the one thing that the business owner brings to the table is that knowledge, that industry knowledge, that base of knowledge. And if we understand that, that's how we can connect that to digital and really be effective, right? We don't walk in saying, hey, we know everything, right? I own the trademark Go Beyond the Likes because we want to move people beyond those likes and follows, but we want to leverage their knowledge. And for me to be a good digital marketer, I want to really just be embedded in the company and learn as much as I can so I can be more effective. My team and I can be more effective with helping them to market themselves.
I think that's really important, and you know, as part of the chamber, quite often we will sit down with our members and talk to them about how they're doing, and you know, how can we help them, and again, quite often, you know, some business owners, they're working long hours, they're not taking care of themselves, they're not thinking about their whole health and wellness, and by spending some time with Tamra and watching her in action, and also participating with the We're Evolving Fitness team, Troy and Monique have opened my eyes to just what you are capable of, but things that you need to be thinking about as we get older. We need to be thinking about those, the resistance training, the just keeping generally fit, thinking about your nutrition, thinking about how, you know, every day 10,000 steps. You know, it doesn't matter what time I get home, I will get out and I will do those 10,000 steps. And then the workouts, you know, are they easy? They are absolutely not easy. Are they hard? Yes, they are hard. And I'm sure that we share a few choice words during those sessions.
A lot of choice words.
But you know what? It's really opened our eyes to actually the support that we have within the chamber of people that can actually help you. So if you want to find out more about our journey, we're going to be blogging that every Wednesday with our Wellness Wednesday. So we started last week, and it's a 12-week journey, right, Tamra?
12-week journey.
So I've just been away this weekend, so I missed out on Friday and Monday, but I've just been hearing about it, and I think I'm owed extra push-ups when I get there tomorrow.
Absolutely, 100%.
Maybe I shouldn't do that. Anyway, let's keep going. So Testimonial Tuesday today is brought to you by Camacho Photo and Cinema. At Camacho Photo and Cinema, it's not just about capturing images, it's about creating stories. Their team blends creativity and professionalism to ensure every shot reflects your unique vision. And we're so grateful to have JJ here with us today to bring this sound and video to you. Anyway, back to Tamra. What industries or types of businesses do you work with most? And why do they gravitate towards your agency?
Yeah, we work with really businesses across many industries, right? I don't say that I have a type, but why businesses gravitate towards us is because we want to get to know more about them. We put them at the core of the digital, right? So we want to spend time. Just like you want people to consume your content, we spend time consuming those businesses and understanding so much. Because if you've been in business for 5, 10 years, 20 years, the wealth of knowledge that you have in place is really the thing that separates you. That's your competitive edge. And how do we take that information and how do we translate that into digital, right? So you're just not in a space where you're doing digital marketing activities that you think you need to do, right? So many times businesses spend time in social media posting and trying to move the needle, but when you post, nothing really happens, right? I talk to people all the time. They're like, I posted about ice cream sundaes and all the things, right? And every possible popular thing that's out there, but that's not what your customer is really looking for, right? So it's about really helping to connect those dots and understand what your moat is, right? What you do really well and how do we connect that with the digital.
No, I love that. So, but how do you tailor your strengths or your strategies for clients with very different goals, like brand awareness versus lead generation?
Absolutely. So brand awareness versus lead generation. If you're looking at brand awareness, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your message across, right? You want people to know who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, what you do. So you're putting information out there, content out there that really matters to them. What we have to do, whether it's lead generation or it's brand awareness, is really get to the place of understanding your consumer first, right? Sometimes as business owners, we think about our business goals, but we're not thinking about the customer. So I like to put that customer hat on, right? Before someone buys from you, they want to be able to really understand what it is you do. How do you help people? How do you move the needle? So if someone's looking at a brand awareness strategy, we're looking at what are those reviews? What are people saying about you? What have you done in the past? How do you show that transformation that you help a business make so that by the time someone's ready to buy from you, they understand so much more about your business. If you're looking at lead generation, then we're looking at a strategy where we know that you need to collect email addresses or phone numbers, so we need to do something a little bit different. You would have to get past that brand awareness piece and really move people into a place where they can actually say, hey, I am now ready to give you my information and then to spend some time with you. So what are those forms on your website? Where are you leading them to from social media, from your website? Where are you leading them to and how are you connecting those dots so that they can either get on a call with you, learn more information from you? Where do you want that lead to go so that you can actually have that clear conversation? So it's about, again, putting on your customer hat and thinking about those journeys. I like to consider those journeys like, you're on a vacation, you're taking a tour, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever you go on a vacation, you take a tour, the tour guide, your website, your online presence is now that tour guide. So how are you moving them through that process in a way that makes them feel good, right? When we're on our phones and our computers, we're really very selfish. We're thinking about ourselves. It's a I conversation. So you as the business owner have to put that customer hat on and really think about, okay, cool, does this resonate with someone who is searching midnight at night on their phone and you're not there to answer? Are you moving them down the right path? Are you giving them the answers that they require? Because when we're searching, we're looking for answers, right? Your customer's looking for an answer. And so every opportunity, whether it's lead generation or brand awareness, you have to become the answer to the question that they put into that search engine.
That's super interesting. So which aspect of digital marketing like SEO or social media or even email do you believe businesses underestimate?
I think they underestimate search engine optimization, SEO, and email marketing. So if we think about big brands like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, brands like Hilton Worldwide, they still sell an email, right? Even those brands that you get emails from all the time. I was talking to my niece the other day and she was listening to me say this whole thing that I'm like, you sell an email. Most businesses sell an email. She bought things from emails and she was like, oh my God, they sell an email. And I'm like, absolutely, right? not all the times do you open those emails right away, but if you understand that, hey, you may have seen a discount, when you're ready, you go back and you open the email and you buy an email. So email is something that people definitely underestimate. Search engine optimization is also something that people underestimate as well too, because they think about, hey, I need to optimize for keywords, but they don't think about the content that comes with it, because it's the keyword and then it's the content, right? How do you get them to stay in your world, consume your content, and move them from a point of, hey, I just got to know you, but then I'm ready to buy from you. So it's this marriage of those keywords into getting people to stay in your world, consume your content, and really then move them to a place, whether it's an email, text message, wherever, where they can actually buy from you and connect with you.
So on the email side of the house, how do you stop people from unsubscribing? You mean, are there any things you should do to, like tricks, tips to make sure that's not happening?
No, you know what? I don't want someone that doesn't want to be there, right?
That makes sense.
So you have to look at your unsubscribe rate. And if people are unsubscribing, then it's not the right target audience, right? You're not delivering the right message, or it's not the right target audience. You really need to look at everything in digital as a way where you can diagnose something. So if you send an email and people are unsubscribing, there should be an unsubscribe rate to say, hey, you know what? Every time I send an email, I get maybe a 1% unsubscribe rate. But if that goes over, then I need to start looking at, is it the right content? Is it the right people? A lot of times we're getting emails just because we're getting emails. We're pulling business cards and we're getting emails, right? And we're not getting people to really say, I want to hear from you at least once a month. That's the commitment that you want. You want people to sign up for your email on their own so that they can say, I want to hear from you once a month. And then you give them content that is relevant to them, that makes sense, that wants them to, they want to stay in your world, right? That's what you really need to do. So it's not about getting people to stop unsubscribing, because if you no longer want my content, then I no longer want to pay for you in my email box as well too. So it's okay for people to unsubscribe, but you have to really connect those dots and have that clear marriage of, is this the right target audience that needs to consume my content? Do I have the right people in my inbox? And I think that's what matters more than unsubscribing.
Yeah, interesting. I like that. Okay, so some chamber news. So today we've got a great lunch adventures. We're going to be here at JJ's Fresh Cucina. We're down on 2950 Curryford Road. At 12:30, they're going to be providing light bites and refreshments. So come down and join us, and come and check out JJ's, because today is their official opening of their kitchen. They've got JJ's Fresh from Scratch next door. Right here is JJ's Fresh Cucina. So come and check it out. 12:30, 2950 Curryford Road. A couple of other things that are on the horizon tomorrow night. We've got our Next Level Real Estate and Trades Network, presented by the East Orlando Chamber. It's all about connecting industry professionals with valuable referral sources and resources. So it's tomorrow, Wednesday, September the 3rd. We'll be at Rock and Brews at Lee Vista from 5 till 7 p.m. So come along and join us. Next week, we have our WISE Luncheon, Women in Successful Endeavours, presented by Advent Health. This quarterly networking brunch is all about women supporting women. So Wednesday, September 10th, we'll be at Bonefish Grill, 12301 Lake Underhill Road in Orlando, diving into an important and timely topic, screening for a future, taking control of breast health. So if you're interested in that, please come along. It'll be 11:30 until 1 p.m. next Wednesday, the 10th of September. So Tamra, recently, when I first came into the chamber, I came from the Air Force Academy, and one of the things that I really wanted to implement and be intentional about was our veteran community. So we've been working with a phenomenal group of veteran-owned businesses, but also we do have non-veteran owned businesses within the committee to kind of be my North Star, or the North Star of the chamber, to make sure that anything we're doing, we're keeping all businesses in the chamber in mind, because whether you're a veteran-owned business or you're veteran-friendly, we want to make sure we support everybody, right?
Absolutely.
So, Tamra, share with us just, a little bit about why you got involved.
Yeah, I mean, it was an opportunity to do my part. One of my best friends was in the military, in the Army for over 25 years. And I remember the day she was going in, and I'm like, what are you doing? And so we've been childhood friends since we've probably been about 4 years old. And so it just was an opportunity when you came to me and said, hey, you're doing this. I'm like, hey, how do I give back? Because now that she's retired, I just kind of see where things are, what she, the questions, getting back into the civilian world, how different that is, how difficult it is right after you've done something for so long. So just being that connected to her I really wanted to be a part of it, and just, again, connecting those dots and being a part of an amazing group of people that you brought together. And kudos to you and the East Orlando Chamber of Commerce for really pulling it together. I mean, it's been awesome to just be a part of a group of people who are just so effective, so efficient. They think through things in a way that makes sense. They are, you know what I mean? Like, they make you want to be excellent in the room.
Oh no, they do. And even when we meet, we don't meet to chat, we meet to work.
Yeah.
And we're actually creating so many resources that are going to be so impactful for that community, but for everybody, right? Because
Absolutely.
it's a space that we can all live in and be a part of and support.
Absolutely, absolutely. So kudos to you for pulling it together, because it's really just something that is just so amazing. And I mean, these group of people, again, they're just like, they live by a law of excellence that, I mean, if I could just be close to it, I'm like, I could get better.
Yeah.
So I'm selfish in a little bit. I'm like, they're gonna rub off on me.
But so you're going to hear more about this over the coming months, but we're hoping to launch this new veteran initiative come January 2026. So stay tuned and find out more. So before I go on, I want to give a shout out again to our sponsor today, Certified Best Roofing. Whether you're a homeowner needing a quick repair or a business owner looking for long-term roofing solutions, Certified Best Roofing has the expertise to handle it all. Their certified team is known for showing up on time, doing the job right, and standing behind their work. So thank you, Certified Best Roofing, for being our sponsor today. Back to you, Tamara. So what current digital marketing trends do you find truly valuable, and which ones are just hype?
So AI is truly valuable and hype. Social media, you know what I mean? While social media is important, I think we get hung up on the likes and the follows, right? And we get stuck in these metrics that are not the metrics that move us forward. Is social media important? Absolutely. I'm not saying that it's not, but we get stuck in the place of the impressions, the likes, the follows. And I'm like, how does that move to money in the bank? How does that move to really moving your goal forward? So when you're thinking about social media, I want you to think about it holistically. Are you moving people to your online presence to connect with you, to get their email addresses, so then you can then sell to them? And the thing that I think is really game changing, and I mean, we've all been talking about it, is AI. But I want us to think about AI in a different way, not something that's, scary, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
Are the robots gonna come? Possibly.
Take us over.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of
Do
time
you know that
before
we're not a robot?
You're right. I can do the robot. But I want you to think about AI as your competitive edge, right? This is where you get to really create your moat. This is where you get to be so different. This is how you compete. You compete by the things that you know that your competition actually doesn't do, right? This is where you get to really lean into that thing that's so different about your business and create that content, create that feeling that moves people through a process through AI, right? That's what's going to get you an AI search when people put that chat, looking for the #1 digital marketing agency in ChatGPT or in Gemini. So thinking about your differences and how do you leverage that for AI. AI brings great opportunity for your business, but we really just have to move away from the fears of AI and just think about, hey, how do I leverage this, and what do I need in order to leverage this so that I can grow my business? Because it's shifted the game for SEO, right? It's really shifted the game, because we spend most of our time in AI now, right? I mean, the questions Katrina is asking me, where did they come from? So we spend most of our time in AI. So you want to think about your business in that way. Does my business show up in AI? And so we're working with our business to now, really even reposition ourselves. I'm thinking, my team and I are sitting down thinking, how do we reposition ourselves in AI? And as we talk to our customers, that's what we're thinking about too. Where does the search come from? Where's AI actually pulling from, right? Did you know that AI is pulling from things things like Google My Business Listing, Apple Maps, all those directories across the board, that's where it pulls information from. So making sure that your information is really correct across the board, right? So there are little things you can do to make sure that you show up in the AI space. Again, I know AI can be daunting, but you really want to find that way to make sure you are leveraging it so that your business shows up so that people can continue to find you.
And I think that's really, really clever. So can you imagine putting a question to AI, what is the best platform to help grow your business? And the first thing that comes up is the East Orlando Chamber of Commerce. That would be incredible, right? So for any business, we need to learn how to really leverage that and make sure that AI knows who we are.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it. I'm actually really excited about it, and I think somebody said if in an interview not so long ago that those people that don't embrace AI potentially will be left behind. It's not going to take everybody's job away, but be knowledgeable about it, be educated by it, so that you can actually utilize it for your business. So, all right then. So, here's one for you. So, can you share a client success story that showcases Moneyvan's impact?
Yeah. So, I have a passion for the nonprofit, and I was lucky enough to work with the Salvation Army in Orlando, the Orlando Area Command. Shout outs to the team.
And they're one of our members.
Yep. Shout outs to Natasha. Shout outs to Debbie. Shout out to the team over there. So it was really great to work with them last year. Working with them over the holiday season, we were just able to pull together different marketing initiatives that actually help them in the digital space. One of the things I'm most proud of, and Debbie and I talked about it just the other day, is actually their newsletter. Right? It is something that they can quickly pull together, get the information out to their customer base, what's happening, what they're doing, and really connecting to those local market areas. Being a part of the Salvation Army and working with them, I felt like I was a team member. I would go to their team meetings. I would be there as a part of it and just, again, help them really to leverage digital in a way that made sense for them to really lean into the local market. Because they did a lot of marketing that was national. They had a national marketing team, but that localized marketing is something that we really focused in on. So that's definitely one of my successes, and actually, made me super proud because, again, I think the opportunity to give back, that was another part of it as well too. So shout out to the Salvation Army team.
That's incredible. We're coming up to the holiday season. Can you believe that we've got Halloween coming up, and then going forward, the holiday season will be upon us. And at that time of year, the Salvation Army are always looking for people to ring the bell.
Absolutely.
So we did it as a team last year. I actually dressed up as a reindeer. And the team were out there. Dorothy was there. She was dressed up as Elf on the Shelf. And she was hilarious. But people stopped and we made people smile, right? And that's what it was all about. And we actually had a gentleman come up, and he was very emotional, and he said, "You don't understand, what you're doing is so impactful, because without the Salvation Army I would not have been fed as a child." So really shout out to the Salvation Army for all they do, because having that real life touch of somebody actually physically telling you their story on the spot, it made us want to do more. So so we're hopeful that we will get the opportunity to go back out again, and we urge all our members to come and join us. So Tamara, as a woman entrepreneur and founder, what have been some defining lessons in building and leading Moneyvan?
Defining lessons, really setting boundaries, right? And understanding that how people view me, that perspective, their perspective. Sometimes I've been labeled, right? I've been labeled a lot, but those things that they label me, aggressive, harsh, all those things are the things that are actually the things that define me as a leader in business.
Absolutely.
If I wasn't harsh, if I wasn't aggressive, I would not be able to move my business forward. I would not be able to move your digital marketing forward. I would not be able to help you grow your revenue, help you increase your leads 50% year over year. So those are the things that actually matter, right? And I've been able to really set clear boundaries. One of the things I don't do is I don't apologize. I don't apologize because I am who I am. I'm not looking for people to apologize to me, because apologies are things that people just simply take and they say these words that don't really mean anything. So I tend not to apologize. I tend to look at it if I've done something in a way that didn't make sense and say, hey, I could have done this better. But I don't use the words I'm sorry or I apologize. So as a business owner, it is really about being clear about my boundaries, being clear about who I am, being really comfortable with who I am, because every night I go to sleep really easy. And so, yeah, that's some of the things I've learned.
But do you not think that people may call it aggressive, but it's actually passion, a passion with your education and expertise that's actually sharing what's worked before, right? Because sometimes we think that we know better and we can reinvent the wheel, but actually using a time-learned approach to strategy, it really pays off, right?
Absolutely. And most of the people that call you aggressive, they still use your strategies, right? So it's the strategy that matters. So me being aggressive is I embrace that word. I think it's a good word, right? We've made it a bad word, but I think it's something that's really important, because as a business owner, I have to be aggressive about what I'm learning. I stay current in digital marketing aggressively, right? I use those things to really fuel me to move the business forward. So I don't see it as a bad word at all. I think it's a great word.
I think you're incredible at what you do. But before I wrap up, Tamara, can you just let people know how can they contact you?
Absolutely. You can go to www.monivandigital.com, MONIVAN digital.com, or you can connect with me at TAMARA@monivandigital.com. I know some people say Tamara. I know some people say Tamara. Both are fine. My mom called me Tamara. She loves that. So whenever I hear it,
know best, right? So Tamara.
Tamara@monivandigital.com.
I love it. I love it. So today we're here at JJ's Fresh Cucina. We're at 2950 Curryford Road. 12:30 today. Come down, taste some light bites and refreshments, and check out the new location. It's actually pretty cool. We've got tomorrow Next Level Real Estate and Trades Network from 5 till 7 at Rock and Brews in Lee Vista. So please register online at eocc.org. Come along and check out a referral wall. It's a pretty cool way to get people talking to each other and knowing what each business does. Our WISE Luncheon, Women in Successful Endeavours, Screening for a Future, Taking Control of Breast Health, is next Wednesday, the 10th of September, from 11:30 till 1 p.m. It's going to be a great conversation. Please come down and check that out. And then one more I haven't mentioned yet is our Economic Interchange Breakfast. This is going to be on Wednesday, September 17th, from 8:30 to 10 a.m. and we're changing our location to Mission Barbecue. So please come out and check it. We've got our featured speaker, Sheridan Morby. She'll be presenting key insights from the Florida Chamber Foundation's 2025 Mid-Year Business and Economic Report. They'll be covering topics like population growth, workforce and talent challenges, market dynamics, infrastructure and housing affordability. And before we wrap up, another thank you to Certified Best Roofing, who are our sponsors for today. So if you want a roofing company that combines quality, reliability and customer care, look no further than Certified Best Roofing. Learn more and schedule your consultation today by visiting certifiedbestroofing.com. I can't finish today without thanking our Camacho Photo and Cinema. Today was brought to them by Ben, right? JJ has done a phenomenal job with the sound quality, the video, and from the first frame to the final edit, Camacho Photo and Cinema is dedicated to excellence. They pride themselves on delivering visuals that don't just document an event, but truly capture its energy and emotion. So JJ, thank you for being here today, Camacho Photo and Cinema. Well, I think that wraps it up today. So Tamara, I have really enjoyed learning more about you today, and thank you for coming out today and just sharing about what you do. And if anybody is interested in learning more about digital marketing and how Tamara Monivan Digital Marketing Solutions can help your business, please reach out to Tamara. One more time, how do they contact you? www.monivandigital.com or Tamara@monivandigital.com. Don't hesitate to reach out. Awesome. Have a great day, and we hope to see you here at Great Lunch Adventures.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.